So during this series of videos, this week we're going to be diving into feedback. So the first question is, well, why bother? Why do feedback in the first place? So the way I like to think about it is like, if you had a car or a machine that was a bit spluttery, was sometimes, not listening to commands or controls or getting you into trouble in some way, then you'd want to fix it, wouldn't you? So you listen to that feedback constantly. You're getting information all the time. And then you need to try and do something to make performance increase. And humans are no different. The only difference is that the reasons behind poor performance or mistakes might be, really complex and challenging because each person is different and their response to the feedback is going to be different. And depending on the relationship that you have with that person, number one, keeps everybody on track. If you're really clear about, what good looks like, what the goal is, what needs to be done, by who, so you've got that crystal clarity, then it's really easy to be able to track that performance and know when people are achieving and when they're not. And when they are, the feedback is obviously going to be positive and you need to let people know. But of course, when it's not so great, you need to handle it in the most appropriate manner and as quickly as possible so that you can stop poor performance or any failures or risks or mistakes happening quickly. So the number two is that it actually stops those longer term big mistakes. So if you don't address a poor behavior or a mistake that's happening, then other people around are watching and observing and thinking that's the right way to deal with things, or that it's okay with you, that it's, sub performance or sub behavior is being allowed. And if you don't tell the person that their behavior or the performance is not on track, then they're going to think everything's okay and they're going to keep on doing it. So you're almost stacking up all those molehills and making a huge mountain. And basically, you're not even managing performance, which is the basic of your job. When you build relationships, which is number three, that feedback becomes so much easier. There's a level of trust because everyone knows exactly, are they on track, what you really think about them, whether they're pleasing you or whether they're disappointing you. And everybody wants to fit in and feel like they're doing a good job and adding value. So by having that honest, transparent, trust-based feedback really strengthens relationships. It's actually a motivator, which is number four. So everybody always wants to improve. Everybody wants to know that they're doing a good job. Everyone likes to please in some way and to feel like they're stepping up. So, by giving them that feedback, and especially the praise and the recognition feedback, it actually motivates people to do more. They get a wonderful dopamine rush, that reward hormone makes them feel good, so they're going to repeat it. And equally, when they have received negative feedback, but have a plan in place that you can work on together, new goals, new activities, and a new plan, then ultimately it gives somebody something to go for. It's a challenge. So yeah, it's incredibly motivating. So number five is really around growth. By giving that feedback to people, it helps people grow and develop and learn, and especially in the space where you're reflecting on lessons learned. So you think about a project or the work last week. How did it go? What went well? What didn't go well? This is what I saw. This is what I heard. What did you think about it? Okay, how can we make it better for the future? How can we improve on X, Y, or Z? It creates a friendlier work environment, which is number six. So if everybody knows that they're being held up to the same high performance standards, and everybody knows that they will be held to account for their work, their behaviours and their performance, then there's no reason to create any conflict. There's no name calling or gossiping going on in the background because it's completely fair and transparent and inclusive. And finally, number seven, if you've got everybody performing a little bit better, if everybody has a little bit more knowledge, if everybody takes a little bit more personal responsibility because of feedback, then ultimately your business is going to perform better. Your team is going to generate better results. And after all, isn't that why you set up your team, your organization, or the project anyway? It's because you had an outcome or a result in mind. So that's why I believe that feedback, especially positive, performance management led feedback, is absolutely essential for any organization if they want to reach success.